Hello, today is 6th of December 2022 and I'm continuing my series Daily Reality with Alex. Today I would like to speak about a very dear topic to me and very specific topic that I'm using daily, and this is the topic about knowledge from the perspective of ruling our own reality. So I'm willing to start exploring this topic with you, and I'm going to start with the storytelling in the Bible that in the beginning this was the cause, the knowledge was the cause for the fall of man, and actually when the serpent enticed the human beings to actually eat of the forbidden fruit of knowing of the good and evil, the serpent stated that if you eat of it, you will become like God and you will actually be in his image. Of course, long term, this enticement was created in order the serpent to gain something long term of the falling of man. So now we are starting with exploring the knowledge and understanding how the knowledge has a two-edged sword. It's like a two-edged sword, but also we can explore how and why it was allowed that the human beings starts the explorational process into the reality of knowing. So once we start exploring, once we start feeding into our daily reality with more knowledge, with more understanding, with more awareness, with more experiences, actually there are two possibilities. Or this knowledge is going to dogmatize us and is going to create out of us limitational beings that instead of being limitless and instead of exploring and understanding reality through their limitlessness, we are going to be put through the knowledge that we are given and inputted into us into a specific boxes of limitation. And today, in the 22nd century, there are so many bubbles that are created for different types of people, and there is so much afraidness in all of us to move from one bubble to another, to convert from one type of storytelling into another type of storytelling. And of course there are people that are constantly converting from one thing to another. They're trying another, and every year they have their new big truth, their new big knowledge. Every year they are different. Now they are spiritual, then they are new age, then they are personal development, then they are something else. Now they are into the crypto, then they are in the fiat money, then they are into the depth exploration, and they are constantly moving forward into reality and going from one bubble to another bubble to another bubble. It is also a possible view. But it is very important to understand how are we going to allow ourselves to be influenced with knowledge. Are we the ones that are eagerly opening ourselves to the knowledge, and instead of allowing the knowledge to long-term limit ourselves, we can work with our limitless inside being, and actually when we see and when we start consuming some knowledge, to look at it and to actually transform it into limitlessness, and actually every knowledge to open in ourselves new abilities, to open our mind and to look into what is out there into a totally different way of exploration. So long term we can or become dogmatic creatures that are so limited in their experiences in this realm of the physical matter reality, or long term we can empower ourselves and become limitless beings that are expressing more and more of their limitlessness through using all the knowledge out there, transmuting them into more limitless power and opening ourselves to more and more exploration in different areas of life. At least for me, this is how I use knowledge, and in the moment I'm working with so many bubbles that are actually opposite to each other, and for me it is okay. Some people are very open for the simulation theory, and they say, well, this is the new thing, Alex, the matrix, everything that is explained out there. I'm a technocrat. I'm going into all this explanation of how the world is working. This is the new modern. So I'll never go into the ancient. I will never go into the old, because the old is something that is not modern. It's already in dust. But actually, I'm more and more keen into understanding everything ancient, why actually they were behaving the way they're behaving, why they had such type of worldviews, and so on and so on. So I'm exploring constantly, maybe something around 50 or 60 different models of reality, and I'm never leaning towards something specifically. Of course, long term I have my core belief, and I'm also exploring through my core belief everything that is out there, and according to me, based on the biblical story about what knowledge is able to create in the human beings and the long-term process and direction for all of us. Anyhow, we are to be interactional with knowledge. The important thing is how we are transforming knowledge for building our perception about reality. Is it making us much more close and close being, and are we seeing less and less from the reality, or are we able actually to open ourselves to a bigger view of what is out there? And at least I'm going to give you my example how I'm looking into different type of knowledge, how I'm transmuting it through my limitless being, and how I'm opening myself to more and more possibility, and actually I'm using knowledge in order to de-learn myself, to deconstruct things that are staying into my inner perception, and long term to be much more open towards understanding of what is out there, not based on my perception, but on what actually is. So long term, as more knowledge we acquire and we obtain, instead of saying and stating constantly, I know this, I in the moment know so much, but I'm constantly exploring, well, what is beyond this? What is beyond the simulation theory? What is wrong with this theory? What is okay to some extent with this theory? Because everything is giving you some limitations, some opening doors, some limitations, some opening doors. And for me, the big issue with this is this centralization necessity for something to centrally emit and give all this simulation for all of us to experience. But of course, long term, you can extract some of the good things out there from where it started, and you can continue building forward and forward. But long term, we need to understand that it doesn't matter how much knowledge a human being is acquiring through his daily reality. The important thing is to understand that if we are using knowledge in order to just de-learn ourselves, and more, it was a very big paradox for me, what I realized that actually we as human beings, once we start dive and deep going into any type of knowledge, we start go to the edges, and we start actually understand that we don't know. It is a very big paradox, because there is such a big desire for us to know. We go to some boundaries, we see the limitation, and we see that there is so much beyond. Well, but Alex, we found the atoms, we found the field, we found so many things about reality. The physical matter part is so much explored. What is more to explore? Actually, it created a much bigger boundaries, from where now we are exploring even more, and every 4 or 5 years, everything that we stated before as primary was or something that is working, now it's not working anymore. And if you go into the contemporary science, you'll see how many discussions, how many debates, how many things that are not sure, and more you go into exploration, less and less sure we become about what is out there, and the only thing we can lean forward towards is our trust that this deepness, this reality is actually beneficial for us. Yes, through the exploration of the things, we are able to understand and realize more about the intelligent design, about the source, about the creator, and actually we are long term left with the paradox where more and more we are leaning into the knowledge, more and more we are actually left into the unknown, and we are starting little by little to be okay with the unknown and to be comfortable with not knowing. And this is one of the big long-term goals that I have put before ourselves, to work with the learning, to work more into taking decisions based on my intuition, based on not knowing. Because all of us think, well, Alex, I'm going to have the perfect decision, the perfect choices, only if I was able to know everything. Then I was going to make the perfect choices. Well, actually, since it's impossible to know everything that is out there, so perfect choices in this sense are not possible. Or if you 100% change your concepts and your understanding, and if we realize that it doesn't matter for a limitless being what type of choice it's going to make, because any choice can be transmuted long term into limitlessness. So what does it matter what type of limitation we are choosing if it's anyhow something that we are long term going to transform? So this is how I use knowledge. This is why I constantly, with intent, work with different type of knowledges. I'm working constantly with maybe 30 or 40 or 50 different bubbles, and I'm willing to explore different things. I'm not hanging on to anything specifically. I'm not trying to prove, I'm not trying to project upon you. Everything that I'm trying to communicate is just to be explorers, just to be willing to go forward, because more and more knowledge we acquire, paradoxically, more and more forward into the unknown we are stepping. So, this is all for today. I can speak about this topic maybe for a lot of hours. I'm willing also to discuss this topic with anyone who is willing. That's why I have reality talks with Alex every Friday from 21 o'clock UK time. I'm open for different topics. It doesn't matter what is the topic, because I'm exploring what is out there, and in every type of limitational knowledge there are gems that can be explored. So, long term, as a conclusion, never ignore the knowledge that is presented before you. Choose wisely not to go into dogmatics, not to go and stay only into a specific circle, but always move forward open-minded. And long term, if you want to learn more about how reality works, why knowledge is important for reality, but not only to gain knowledge, but actually to transmute knowledge into the learning, and long term to teach ourselves to live into the unknown without knowing, but only with trust and intuition. This is a very big long-term game to play, and this is when life becomes so much more interactional, so much more fascinating, and this is of course my long-term desire to see more limitless beings becoming explorers and being open to really move forward and to be interactional with their daily reality. So, thank you for watching today. Enjoy your reality, absorb knowledge, transform it, de-learn yourself, and move forward through your intuition into the unknown. Bye bye.